Welcome everyone to your pick a card reading for Monday the 19th to Sunday the 25th of September, or for whenever you come across this reading, as the messages in this reading are timeless. I want to thank you so much for joining me here again. I hope these messages resonate and will help you in the week ahead. Okay everyone, we have pole number 1, pole number 2, pole number 3 and pole number 4. We have the tiger's eye for pole number 1. We have the angelite for pole number 2. We have the flower quartz. I don't know if you can see that, it's quite a pretty one. Flower quartz for pole number 3. And we have the amethyst for pole number 4. It's a very pale one. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Please select a pole that you feel drawn to. If that's more than one pole, that's not a problem at all. Watch as many poles as you feel called to. Just know that the message is in there. There'll be a message in there for you. Remember, these are general readings, so it won't resonate with everybody, but please take the messages and apply them as and where they fit into your life. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and let's get started. Hello, pole number 1. Thank you for joining me. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. We have the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, lovely, the Ten of Wands, we have Surrender, Trust, and we have the Eagle Spirit. Well, pole number 1, the universe is not beating around the bush. It's the message is very direct. So let's get straight into it. So your first card, pole number 1, is around your third eye chakra, and it's trust. Trust your intuition. It is in contact with a higher source of knowledge. And I feel, pole number 1, that whatever you are going to see that this applies to in your life, trust is going to be the key to this week. So this is your overall energy, and it's trust. And it's your third eye chakra, so that is your intuition. That is your seeing beyond the physical things you can actually see with your eyes. So it's seeing into the unseen. And by that I mean it's seeing more than what you can see with your eyes. You'll be receiving more information. You'll be receiving a knowingness that you might find difficult to explain to others, because how do we explain that? It's just a hunch, it's just our intuition, it's just our inner voice. And in everything we do, trust is so important. Trust is important in our everyday life. And trust is important in our spiritual journey. Without it, there's difficulty, there's a lack of belief. And I feel, pole number 1, that you're going to be called to trust yourself and your intuition. You're going to be called to trust something higher than you. The eagle spirit's here, and it says spirit has your back. And you might be called to trust others. Again, this is a general reading, pole number 1, so this will apply differently to all of you in different areas of your life. So take it and apply it where it needs to be. But when you find yourself doubting, when you find yourself second guessing, come back to this, come back to trust. And if I may recommend, look at meditations that help you to open your third eye chakra, to help balance it. You might find that that will benefit you this week. Your next card is Eagle Spirit, and it says Spirit has your back. And I love that this adds up to 5, and 5 is the number in numerology of change. And I feel with your cards, there's, you've got a 10 of Wands, there's an ending. You've got the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel's turning. There's going to be something different. You've got surrender. And I'm wondering if you're surrendering to a new path, or if you're surrendering the burdens of the past. And again, it could be something that applies to you to each of you in a different way. But there is going to be change, or you're going to start to sense the beginning of things changing, or you have changed and therefore your environment is now catching up with you and it's changing in accordance. But the Eagle Spirit says that Spirit has your back. You're not in it alone. We're never alone in our journey, even if we are physically alone. And this is Spirit comforting you. And I love that this is represented by the eagle, because the eagle soars so high above everything else. It sees what we can't see. It gets a perspective that we can't get. And we have to trust in that. We have to trust that we don't always have all the information. We can't always see the bigger picture. But our higher self, our soul, the universe, God, Spirit, Creator, Source, whatever you call it, it has a plan. It knows, it sees. And it understands. So does our soul. Our soul understands that in this physical body we have limitations. We are limited. We are more afraid. And that's only normal. Surrender your doubts, pole number 1. Surrender your fears. Surrender what's not working. Surrender the old you. Surrender the you you're trying to become. Surrender attachments. Surrender longings. Surrender pain. Don't hold on to anything, pole number 1. The wheel's turning. And I love that the surrender and the wheel of fortune are here together, because you have to let the wheel turn. And just because you're in a good place, it doesn't mean it's going to turn to a bad place. Just because you're in a bad place, it doesn't mean it's going to turn into a good place, so you want to rush towards it. You want to make it turn. Because surrender is surrendering our fear to move forward, but it's also surrendering our fear that makes us want to rush through everything. Our fear that doesn't want to face the journey, it just wants to get to the destination. And I can't remember what pole it was, but there was a pole last week that spoke very much like this, of wanting to rush through the journey. So if you got that pole last week, Spirit is really saying to you, the journey is important, because we learn so much along the way, and this part of your journey is learning to trust and to surrender. I think in the other reading it was patience. It was learning to be patient, and there was going to be obstacles or something to make you slow down. So if you didn't pick a pole last week, pole number 1, go to last week's reading, pick a pole and see what you get. But you might find that you fall on the one, I can't remember the number, but you might fall on the one that is like this one, about the journey. The journey is important. I also just got the message. Look at or become aware of what you need on this journey. Surrender everything that's not necessary. I feel for some of you, you're traveling heavy. And by that I mean it could be possessions, it could be burdens, you've got the 10 of Wands here, so something that's slowing you down and something that's weighing heavily on you. And I'm really getting the sense here in material, like immaterial things, the perspective of what stuff do you have? Because this journey doesn't require you to have a lot of resources, it doesn't require you to have a lot of stuff. So if you've been thinking of clearing your home, if you've been thinking of getting rid of things, this is a great time to start. Surrender is very similar to letting go of attachments. It's much deeper than that, but it can start with that, and then more and more we just surrender to what is. When we surrender, we have to accept. We have to accept where we find ourselves now. We have to accept that we might not know where we're going. We have to accept that we're fearful, that we have doubts. Maybe we have to accept that we don't trust in order for the trust to come. Pole number 1, then you have the Empress and the Wheel of Fortune. Now this is 2 major arcana, so this is the universe, and we've got the Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. That's the universe has your back. And for me, the major arcana is the universe stepping in to assist. The universe with the Empress here wants you to see that there is no lack. If you don't have it, you don't need it. That's not always an easy thing to say. That's not, I don't say that lightly. I don't say that from a place of, well, I have no lack in my life, so you shouldn't be scared of lack. Or I have everything I need, so you should be fine with what you've got. The Empress doesn't believe in lack. She believes that when she needs something, she will receive it. That's a journey in itself, to come to that realization, to trust enough to know that I'm doing my bit and the rest will come. What I need will come to me. The Empress is also about the birthing of new ideas. It's about bringing, it's hard to see her here, but often she's depicted as a pregnant woman. And it's about bringing something into the world, often bringing an idea into the world that will be abundant. The Empress is abundant on all levels. She's not afraid to give, because she never even contemplates that she could be without. And the Wheel of Fortune is here saying the wheel's turning. Just because something played out like that in the past, it doesn't mean it's going to play out again the same way. Just because there was lack or hardship in the past, it doesn't mean that's what your future holds. The wheel turns when we've learnt what we needed to learn. And I love how they're all reading. And this is the 4 fixed signs. So we have Taurus, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius. And they all embody different element. They all have different characteristics. But I love how they've all got a book, and it's the learning of the journey. You learn from the journey that you're on, and the wheel turns and brings you a new journey. Now, if we don't learn from our past journey, we stay on the wheel, and then it becomes a hamster wheel. It just becomes, we keep repeating the same cycles, the same cycles, the same cycles, the same cycles. And the Empress is here saying, no, you've got You've got something to bring to the world. So you need to trust, you need to surrender, you need to walk this journey with your eyes and heart open. And the Ten of Wands is here. You need to leave the past behind. You need to drop the burdens of the past. The card says, working too hard or too many hours, the need for balance in life. Let others help you. Health problems due to stress. The way I see it is, in this reading for your pole number 1, is you cannot bring the burdens of the past with you into the future. You have to surrender them, and then you have to walk forth with an open heart and with trust. Sorry if you heard that banging sound. I think that was a car backfiring. That was quite loud. So apologies. But you need to keep moving forward. You need to trust. Learn. That's what our journeys are, pole number 1. Our journeys are all about learning, growing, wisdom, understanding. And the reason why you're going through all this, pole number 1, is because there's something that you want to bring to the world. And that could be something like a book. It can be your knowledge. It can be your expertise. You know, you might be waiting for a job opportunity. You might be waiting for a relationship. You might be waiting for even a family, to start a family. This can play out in so many areas and in ways of your life. This can be purely your spiritual journey. But the past can't come with you. And because the 10 is here, and because we've got the 2 major arcana before it, Spirit won't let you start the next journey until you've surrendered everything that no longer serves you. And that can be material possessions. That can be ideas and beliefs. That can be people. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 1. Thank you for joining me. Love and light, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 2. Welcome. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. We have the 7 of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the Chariot. We have change, yes. We have blue star, and we have antelope spirit. Wow. 2 cards depicting great speed, that life is speeding up. Change. Okay. Pole number 2, let's see what is happening for you this week. So we start the reading with blue star. And the card says, follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. It will lead you to the truth that resides within your soul. When we follow a compass, like I always say, we don't know the way. A compass is not like a map. A map tells you what's at the end of the road. It shows you what's around the corner. It gives you a bigger picture of what's around you. A compass keeps you pointing in the direction that you need to go. So a compass used correctly will stop you from going around in circles. It'll stop you from accidentally going backwards. And that's what the blue star is all about today in your reading. It's to keep you heading in the right direction, to keep you moving forward. And I can understand why you've got this card, because with Antelope Spirit and the Chariot, the energy is fast-paced. You've got all this lightning in the card of change. That's also very, very quick. quick ideas that come to you, and then full speed you go ahead. And it's very easy when there is quickness in our life to suddenly find ourselves heading or bolting in the wrong direction. So use your compass, use your inner guidance, use your intuition. In moments of doubt, in moments where you think, oh, hang on a minute, stop. Now this energy here is telling me that's not going to be, or actually these 3 cards, that's not going to be easy for you, pile number 2. That's not going to be easy for you to go, hang on a minute, let's take 5, let's take a few deep breaths, let's recalibrate, let's see where we're going, let's see where I'm going, what am I doing. It's not going to be easy because the energies for you this week are going to be rapid, and it's so easy to get caught up with that. So you have Antelope Spirit, life is speeding up. And I feel that it is because of this changed card, this change card. I feel it's because you're going to get these moments of complete clarity where everything suddenly makes sense to you. You're going to get these ideas that you can act on immediately. It might sound a little bit silly, but pile number 2, I want to say your week is going to be electrically charged. You know, suddenly you'll think, oh, you know, you'll go to sit down and the lights will come on bright, and you'll see the next step, and you won't sit down, you'll lunge again. It's that kind of week that I'm getting for you. I even feel myself wanting to talk really fast. It's almost like these messages are spilling out of me, and I'm afraid that if I don't get them out quick enough, I'll miss them. I won't give you all the information that you need. And I think that's your energy, pile number 2. I feel that's the speed that you're traveling at, and it's going to be a natural speed for you, but there will be moments where you might need to take a breath and allow others to catch up with you. Allow answers to come back to you. Give people a chance to respond. Give the universe a chance to respond. Though I think the universe is going to be quick, but you know, we play with the universe and we play with real life. We co-create with both. So you're moving quickly. I feel the universe is moving quickly with you, but you will still need to wait for the people in this 3D world to respond, to catch up with you. They might not be at all in the same place that you are, so they might need time to process. I suddenly had the feeling, pile number 2, that you might get a lot of no's this week. It's okay. You're moving too fast for people, and therefore their immediate reaction is going to be to say no. Give them time to think. Stay on your path. Don't backtrack. Don't try to find a compromise yet. It's not a time for that. The compass wants to keep you straight and steady. If you get a no, it's not because the idea is wrong or the person doesn't like it, or you're moving too fast. They need time to process. They need time to catch up. So these no's that you might be getting, these, not interested, or people just brushing you aside, give them time to think. Stay on your path. Don't start, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't start bartering with them. You know, don't find compromises in your path. All they need is time. Time to catch up with you. Time to process this. I really want to say those no's are going to turn into yeses. And you would do yourself a big disservice if in your speed you compromised. To keep going full steam ahead, you took a lesser deal, or you changed things to suit the other person or the situation or whatever this is for you, pole number 2. But yeah, it's not a time to negotiate. That's the word, thank you. It's just not. The blue flame is here. You've got to follow your truth. But you're just, because your truth is so clear, and I'm feeling, pole number 2, that maybe it hasn't been for so long. Maybe you've had a sense of what all this is about, but you've just had no clue on how to move on it. And now suddenly you do. So you just want to move like the wind. And if you do, a lot of you will find yourself making compromises that, if you can slow down, or if you can at least say to people, I'll leave you with it. If you change your mind, let me know. And then you keep charging on ahead if you want to. But don't try to drag them with you by compromising and changing so that you are no longer following your truth. And you've got the change card. You are changing at lightning bolt speeds. And that's what happens when we have clarity. When we understand, when we can see the path before us, when we can see the next step and the one after that and the one after that, we change quickly. And it's not that we've learnt the lessons quicker than everybody else, and that's why we change the quickest. Often this precedes a time of great stagnation, of great soul searching. A time where we're so filled with questions, pole number 2, but very, very few answers come to us. And then suddenly we just become aligned. Something happens. We release, we accept, and bam, it all happens. It's going to be such an exciting week. And pole number 2, I'm saying a week because it's a weekly pick a card reading, but it can play out over much longer than that. And I kind of feel it will with this energy. But it's certainly something that Spirit wants you to become very, very aware of. You're changing, your circumstances are changing, your whole life is changing. And I love this. This to me, I'm pretty sure it's an egg, but to me it's an egg. And there's something incubating in there. That's your dreams. That's what you are driving towards. And I love how, you know, her skirt, her dress is all been caught by the wind, and her hair, but she's got hold of her egg. You know, there's no way she's letting go. You're not letting go of your dreams. And I feel that comes back to this. If people say no, don't let go. Even if you're not letting go of it completely, you just feel like you need to tweak it. Not yet. Not yet. Hold on to it just as it is. It's the speed that you're traveling at that is putting people off, not the ideas or the whatever you're trying to do. But clarity, you're going to get so much clarity. You're going to get so much. You're going to just understand in what direction you need to move in. And you have the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Wands. And the Seven of Pentacles is understanding what no longer serves you. It's looking at the efforts you have put in the past to grow something. And now you're looking at it saying, do I continue, or have I learned everything on that journey to now let it go and start afresh? Pole number 2 with the King of Wands here. I feel that your passion, what drives you, your dream, what your soul is calling you to do has changed a bit. Maybe not completely, but you're looking at these Seven of Pentacles and saying, I don't think so. I think I'm going to take what I have learned from all this experience. I'm going to take it and I'm going to bring it more into alignment with who and what and where I am now. And I'll plant that seed and grow it with something that's more aligned with me. That's your clarity, pole number 2. And when you get clarity like that, it's not difficult to let things go. Now, pole number 2, there might be sadness. There might be a little bit of regret, but that's normal when things change. But you are becoming so aligned with your soul, your soul's journey, what you're here to do, that the sadness and the regret comes with so much knowing that the sadness will come to you every now and again, but it won't get hold of you. It won't be as painful as sometimes it can be, is what I'm trying to say. Pole number 2, you finish with the Chariot, and the card says, rewards that come from hard work, successfully balancing many priorities at once, determination and willpower, public recognition. And that sums up, the Chariot just sums up beautifully everything else. And it is your determination and your willpower. It's the past journey that you're now looking at saying, you know what, that needs tweaking. I'm not sure that I'm hell-bent on that dream anymore. I think it's changing because I've changed. And the King of Wands is here. He knows his passion. He knows what drives him. He is driven by his soul, not money, not possessions, not glory. If it's not in his heart, he won't waste any time on it at all. And he wants to bring his passion, his light into the world, because the kings have that giving energy. It's very masculine. It's very pushing out into the world. It's giving. And This clarity pole number 2 really aligns you with your path, so that both horses, because there is nothing, there's no reins, there's no nothing keeping them together. So the chariot, when it's not balanced, when we are not balanced, the chariot has the potential, I mean it doesn't because it's a major arcana, so it's guided by the universe, but when we don't embrace the energy of the tarot, of the chariot, when we don't follow our calling, when we don't listen to the messages that the universe brings us, we have the potential to split the chariot in two. And that's metaphorically speaking, because we don't break ourselves in two, but our hearts and our heads are so much at loggerpoints, at loggerhead, that we create so much turmoil within ourselves, so much worry, so much doubt, anxiety, stress, everything that is not good for us. And the image of the breaking chariot is, you know, we can actually make ourselves sick. We hurt our physical body when our heart and our head cannot align. But pole number 2, you are so aligned. Your head and your heart speak the same language. You understand what each does for you and how they try to help you in their own way, and you know when to listen to one and when to not listen to another. Not that we never really listen to our soul, but you know, we know when to use our head. We don't use our soul to do a mathematical equation. Our head rules there. And we shouldn't ask our head to guide us on our dreams. That's our soul's job. And that's the clarity. So you can charge ahead at great speeds because you are so aligned. But remember pole number 2, that when you, in the way I see it, the way I feel, the messages that I'm receiving, it's more likely to be people than anything else. But when you get roadblocks, when you get people saying no, when you get situations that fall through, know that it's because you're traveling at a speed that nobody's able to keep up. So their immediate reaction is stop, no. So give them time to think, give them time to digest the information that you are bringing them. Not everybody is working at your quick speed. What a reading, pole number 2. I feel so excited. My heart's pounding a million miles an hour. I'll leave you with those messages. Love and light, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have strength, we have the 5 of Wands, we have the Ace of Wands, we have assessing, we have inner alchemy, and we have lion spirit. Beautiful. Ooh, I like this show of strength, really. It's almost like the double strength card, isn't it? Okay, let me just grab the energies, pole number 3. I like it. We've really been getting, I feel that this is another, we're really being guided by our soul at the moment, and I feel your reading is no different. So pole number 3, your first card is inner alchemy. And the card says, inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. And my first thought is, wow, that's not easy. And then the next thought is, well, there's no other way. Because the only other way we can react to fear is with fear. And that doesn't lead anywhere really. It kind of just drags us down in more of the same energy. You can't take fear and add more fear and feel like you're going to get something different. You just get more fear. But when you take fear and you add love to it, it dilutes the fear. When you take fear and you add acceptance, dilutes that fear. And then when you keep adding and adding and adding and adding different energy, you dilute the fear so much that you find strength to move past it. I feel with the double strength cards here, and I feel it also with this assessing. I want to ask you, pole number 3, what are you afraid of? And you need to answer that. You need to ask yourself that. When you have quiet moments just before you fall asleep, or when you first open your eyes in the morning, or whenever you've got a moment's peace, really ask yourself, are you afraid of anything? And then what is it? And when you find the answer, so for instance, let's just say you're afraid of losing your job because they've been doing cutbacks at the moment. Okay, dig deeper. So then what is it? So you're afraid of losing your job. Now if you dig a little bit deeper, it might be you're afraid of losing your job because you live paycheck to paycheck. So you won't have enough to live, to pay your rent, to buy your food and your petrol. And when you dig a little bit deeper than that, you'll realize that you fear that you won't be able to survive. You fear that your life is impacted on a real survival level. And then you dig deeper and deeper again, and it might bring up childhood memories. It might bring up a real fear of lack that you just never realized that you carried around with you. And it's by every time you keep digging a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper, you might actually find that the fear of losing your job doesn't stem from a fear of lack. It might come from a fear of abandonment, that you're not wanted, you're not useful. People use you and discard you. It can come from, for all of us, from completely, really different places. And it's only when we start digging deep that we come to understand where those fears come from. Now, before I get too bogged down on that message, which is hugely important, I want to show you very quickly why that's important. Knowing your fears gives you the strength and the courage to overcome them. Because at the moment you are being challenged with looking outside your day-to-day life to what drives you to a new calling, a new passion, a new opportunity. And I feel that this reading for you here, pole number 3, is because Spirit really fears that you're going to miss it. And again, like I always say, we can't be on a journey that isn't ours. It's impossible. Wherever we are on whatever journey, that's our journey. And where readings like this can, and I feel are so beneficial, is they can give you the heads up. Because if we miss an opportunity that we could have gotten, the biggest thing that is likely to come of that is that we go back into a previous cycle and we repeat that. Now, that in itself is we have all done cycles multiple times. Multiple. So that in itself is not, it's not doom and gloom. It's not the biggest catastrophe in the world. But the more we repeat cycles, the louder they become. And when I say loud, I mean painful. Because there's nothing like a traumatic experience to wake us up. You know, warm water on a cotton wool wiped over our face is not the same jolt into reality as a bucket of cold water. But when we want to bring people to, that's what we do. You know, it is a bucket of cold water. It's a slap in the face. It's something that is jarring and jolting, because that brings us back to our senses. And I feel the universe here is saying, pole number 3, you don't want to repeat the cycle you've just been in. You have grown so much. You have changed so much. You're no longer the person that you were in the last cycle you were in. So with everything that you have grown and that you have, this wisdom you have found, don't take that and repeat the cycle again. Take that and see how to move forward. The next card is the Lion Spirit, and it's be generous of spirit. And for your reading, I really feel this is saying, listen to Spirit. You have got so much to give, and I think that's what this is. This Ace of Wands, that's what this is. And it's going to take strength and courage to put yourself out there, to change whatever you've been doing. Because I feel as well with the Lion here, you know, he's the leader of his pride, but he's also, you know, we call him the king of the jungle. He has risen to the top. He's an alpha male. And it doesn't matter if you're female or male, it's just the energy. And pole number 3, you may be at the top of your game. You may be at the top of your career. You may be abundant and affluent and have achieved great things. but your journey's changing. And I feel that Spirit is saying, take the wisdom. Open your heart. See past what you now have. And I love that. Look at how focused they are, both in the same direction. You know, I feel like he's really looking at her and she's really looking out. And it's like, assess. Everything that you have done up until this point, everything that you have learned, every way that you have changed, how can you apply that? How can you apply that falls in line with the Ace of Wands? Now, the Ace of Wands is a gift from the universe. It's a potential and a possibility and an opportunity. And the universe brings it to you. Now, being the Wands, that's the fire in you. That's your passion. That's what drives you. That's what you're interested in. Spirit is asking you to assess, how do you bring the two and make it a reality in your life? How can you do more of this passion? Can you make a living from it? Can you just do it to bring joy to others? Maybe there's no material value in it for you, but can you do it just in a generous way? But it's asking you to apply this passion of yours, this gift, this opportunity that you're going to be given. It's asking you to see, how can I make this real? Because I often say, you know, a dream, a passion, something that just really lights us up. When people ask us a question on it, we could talk for hours and hours, that kind of thing. But if we don't do anything with it, it just stays in our heart, doesn't it? It never comes out into the world. We physically have to do things in our world in order to bring it to the world. So we might get all the gifts from the universe we want. If we don't grab them and bring them into reality, nothing happens. We have to realize that we are the ones that manifest it in the world. The universe helps us, but we have to do our bit as well. That's why it's called co-creating. We create with God, with the universe. But if we don't do our bit in this 3D world, it just never comes to fruition, does it? Never materializes. So there's going to be a lot of soul searching, I feel. There's going to be a lot of really asking questions, testing the water as to how can I bring this about. So you've got the Strength card and the Five of Wands. So the Strength is all about your inner strength, your inner balance, your inner power. And I feel the Strength card is here because it's guiding you to interact with others. It's asking you to look outside the box. And generally, we only know what we know. We can only see what we can see. And that's why interaction with others is so important, because it's by talking to others, and not just people that we know and that are similar to us or know our journey, because often they might have sort of very similar mindset, but it's talking to somebody who is very different to us sometimes. A stranger that you just happen to share a word and they're just going to say something that just makes you go, what? It's going to be in discussions, debates. It's going to be in situations that take you out of your comfort zone. They're going to be the ones that are going to help you the most. Meeting new people. Not being afraid to say, hey, you know, I love this and I'd love to do it for a living, or I feel an infinite connection with these type of people and I'd love to help their cause, or I'd love to volunteer, or whatever it is. Just don't know how to go about it. You might jump on the internet and there might just be an association or a group or something that calls to you. But it will take stepping out of your comfort zone. Because remember, we have the inner alchemy, and there is fear. We have strength, we have the lion energy. So there is fear, and because you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, you're assessing, how am I moving forward? And she's in the universe. So you're looking out there, like out there. So it's not a comfort zone, but you'll be fueled. And that's the beauty of it, is we don't do this for nothing. We don't go through all this for something that we just kind of go, oh yeah, that might be interesting. No, this is something that lights you up. And pole number 3, the gift from the universe can come just even by somebody saying something that just gives you like this aha moment. It can be an opportunity in a job or an association or a new friendship or whatever it could be in your life. But you have to take it. You have to say yes. You have to open your heart to chance, to opportunities, because if not, they peter out to nothing. Now, I got so carried away, I forgot to read the card. Let me read. So this is the Ace of Wands, and the card says, an amazing opportunity. Be bold, courageous and optimistic. Now is the time to take action. Do what you are passionate about. Be bold, be courageous and be optimistic. Take action. That's your reading in a nutshell, pole number 3. And you will, because this just awakens something in you that just feels right. It opens your heart chakra. Beautiful message for you, pole number 3 from Spirit. I'm going to leave you with that. Love and light, my friends. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Thank you for joining me. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you for this week. Lovely. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the 7 of Wands, the Knight of Wands. We have fear, choice, and we have Rabbit Spirit. Okay, let me just pick up on the energies that surround this reading. Really interesting energy, actually. Okay, pole number 4. Your first card is choice. And the card says, by staying conscious in your thoughts, you guide your journey in the direction of choice. I'm going to read that again. It's a lovely message. By staying conscious in your thoughts, you guide your journey in the direction of choice. This kind of makes me think of the Chariot card. When we operate from an unconscious level, we allow our emotions, exterior situations to be the guiding force in the choices that we make. You know, we allow fear to get hold of us, and then we make decisions based in fear. And the choice card is coming to you, pole number 4, to say, know your thoughts. And that's basically what being conscious in your thoughts, by staying conscious in your thoughts, is all about, is knowing what you say to yourself when you're afraid, knowing what you say to yourself when you have doubts, knowing what you say to yourself when you feel driven and excited. Because when you know how you react in those different situations and how your thoughts play such a big part in that, you then understand what is guiding you at that point in time. When you have a decision to make or a direction to take, you can say, hang on a minute, I know that voice. I'm scared. That it wants me to do this because I'm scared. I'm going to make that decision because I'm scared, and I'm choosing the easy way out. Or I'm making this decision because I don't want to let go. So I'm going to make a half decision so I can keep holding on to the past and still take a tiny step into the future. This is where mindfulness is so important. We throw around those words, consciousness, unconsciousness, we throw them around so easily, often without really understanding how they help us so much. But the more and the deeper you know yourself, the more you know how you are going to react in a situation, how you are going to act in a situation, what you will run from, what you will run towards, what will trip you up. And then you can make sure that you avoid that. You can make sure that you don't put yourself in that situation, because you know that if you put yourself in that situation, you're going to do this, this, and this. That's being conscious. And when we understand ourselves like that, we don't beat ourselves up about our shortcomings. We know that if I do this, I'm going to fall into this pattern. I'm not doing it. If I do that, I'll fall into that pattern that's guiding me to where I need to be. I'm going to do that. We understand ourselves, good, bad, the ugly, and we work with it. Because we understand as well that we are never going to be perfect. We are all made up of light and dark, of good and what we consider not good. We are made up of our perception of things. But when we understand that, then we know from what place we're making decisions. We become conscious. Wow, pole number 4. This understanding yourself is hugely important. Hugely important. You have the rabbit spirit, and it says now is a lucky time. And I love that this is actually right next to the fear card. I'm going to read these two together if you don't mind. And then the following card is fear. Because I think rabbits, I mean, they're, well, I've got to say that they're one of the animals at the very, very bottom of the food chain, aren't they? They really prey for everything else, aren't they? There are so many things. You know, a rabbit feeds so many animals, you know, I mean, even we eat rabbit, don't we? So a rabbit is naturally a very fearful creature. And I love in the fear card, we have like this little bubble. And I just feel like it's like a little cave, isn't it? Like a little burrow. Yet the rabbit is depicted, the rabbit spirit is lucky. And rabbits are considered lucky. And they're breeders, aren't they? They multiply so quickly. They grow so quickly. And they have this network. They have a network of burrows, and they also live in big families. And I feel these two together is very much, yes, you have your fears, and there are times where the world just looks so bleak. And there's just so many things that just make you want to hide, just, you know, just can't face it. But the rabbits always come out of their burrow. They're quick and they dart around, and they know that it's dangerous out there for them. But they'll run out, they always have these crazy jumps and leaps, and I often look at them and I think, gosh, they're playing. But there's predators all around them. But it's like they still know how to find joy in their life. They still know how to have fun. They still love. They have a sense of community and of bonding. And I feel Spirit is saying, you know, when we do this inner work, when we become conscious of ourselves, and a lot of the time the world around us changes. We become aware of fears we never knew we had, and we have to work through them. Family, friends, community that we had, we might no longer be so aligned with. So it's this process of change. It's this process of accepting. The rabbit accepts where it's at, and it just lives with it. It acknowledges its shortcomings. It acknowledges that, you know, one day to the next it could be gone. But it doesn't live from that place. If it did, it would just give up, and the species would never continue. But it doesn't. It sees the time that it has, and I don't know, they seem to enjoy it. And they're very connected. They find their tribe. Well, they kind of grow up with it. But in this kind of like the metaphorical part of this reading, or what it brings up, the message that it brings up is find your tribe. Find those that align with you. They'll help you overcome this fear. They'll help you bring perspective with the fear. You then have the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Wands. And I feel pole number 4. I feel that the aces are a gift from the universe. And they're an opportunity, a new potential. But you have to take it, you have to do something with it. And the ace has been, they're kind of associated with the air signs and with our minds. This can be new ideas, clarity, messages even that just make you go, oh, wow, I never thought I could do that. But I feel pole number 4, there's still a part of you that is defending your old way of being. There's still a part of you, your probably unconscious part of you, that doesn't want the change. You just want to live in your little burrow with your community that you have built over the years, and you don't want to venture out. You don't want to start new things. You don't want this clarity. You don't want this opportunity because you know, I want to say, you know it's opening up a can of worms. So you're kind of battling to keep all this at bay. Have you been offered a promotion? Have you been offered a new job? Have you met somebody new that maybe lives far away from you, and it means moving interstate or to a different country? Is this maybe just a heartfelt feeling that you want something different, yet you're fighting it because it's like, oh no, because then that means I have to do this, and this will change, and that'll change, and I won't know anybody, or I won't know what I'm doing? Or for some of you, do you want to go back to studying? Do you want to have a family but you're afraid? Do you think you don't have enough money to have a family? Do you feel that with the problems of the world you don't want to bring a little one into it? This can mean so much. Like it can have meaning in so many different areas of your life. Are you retiring, and do you want to downsize your home but you don't want to leave? There's a whole bunch of packing that you have to do, and then you have to downsize your furniture, and oh, it's too much. So you kind of fight yourself. You defend your choice to not move. I'm at the top of the mountain, and you know what? I'm just going to stay here. And I love that you finished the reading with the King of Wands, because the King of Wands is driven by his passion. And you won't be able to ignore this, not long term. The card says passionate, confident, charismatic, restless, events requiring immediate action, trust your instincts, stay focused, a passionate relationship. King of Wands steps out of his comfort zone, and he's so motivated that it doesn't even require a lot of effort on his part. That's just who he is. And pole number 4, it might not be naturally who you are. You might just naturally be more conservative. But Spirit is asking you to embrace this energy. Because that's what these readings are. They're energies that we can tap into. There's something here, pole number 4, that is making you not want to go, I'm going to say, on this adventure. And it might not really be an adventure, but it's this something new. You've got the Ace. It's something new. And whatever, you've got the Luck card. Now is a lucky time. What you do will be fruitful. It will have good results. But I feel these two, and with the 7 of Wands in your reading, pole number 4, I'm getting a sense of stubbornness. And I'm wondering if these fears, because I feel like this is almost, it's too difficult. It just seems like such a big thing to do. And it brings about so many fears that it kind of keeps you stuck. And I feel with the Rabbit spirit as well, maybe, well, not maybe, but I'm guessing you find yourself now in a real comfort zone. Maybe you've been at your job for a long time and you know everything. So you're confident there. I just had a message of, is this a financial risk for you, pole number 4? Is it a new business or something that is asking you to lay out some really well-earned money, and you're afraid that if it doesn't work out, you will lose? Rabbits, because of the way that they breed, they're considered very abundant. So there is abundance in here. There is, well, there's definitely luck, but I read luck like we make our own luck, but the universe, it also helps us. The universe brings us miracles and it brings us opportunities. Yeah, Ace of Swords here. And it can just look like you were just lucky, but it's the choices that you've made, it's the journey that you've been on that brings you to that point. But it's something that deep down inside of you is really meaningful to you. And I feel the Knight of Wands, he's not as rapid as the Ace of, he's not as rapid as the Knight of Swords, but he's fast. He's galloping. And I feel like you just have to jump, pole number 4. You just got to poke your head out of the burrow, jump, take a chance. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 4. Have a lovely week. Thank you for joining me. Love and light, my friends. Bye-bye.